Two big Canada games upcoming as we say goodbye and thank you to Christine Sinclair. Oliver Platt is on location for the first of the two games to be played in Victoria. Of course, the big send off will be in Vancouver a few days after that. But some news when it comes to the squad: Evelyn and Julia Grosso, both out of the Canada squad, both suffering injuries that have ruled them out, meaning that another face will be able to have a send off as well in Sophie Schmidt coming back into the team. What does this all mean, Oliver Platt, in terms of Olympic preparations and finding that balance between, hey, feel good farewell, and games that really matter in terms of overall preparation?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think with Julia Grosso and Evelyn Vienne going out, there's a couple of positions where they're a little bit light, and probably they're the two positions that Canada has the most questions at. I think when you look at central midfield and striker, it'll be interesting to see how Bev Priestman kind of manages those minutes. Centre midfield, you've now got Quinn, you've got Fleming, Sophie Schmidt, obviously for her last two games, and then two young players in Hernandez Gray and Awujo. So again, not a whole lot of depth there. Maybe some opportunities for some of those younger players, particularly Awujo, I would think to restake her claim and get some minutes. And then up front, like it's really still, I think, a wide open position past Nichelle Prince. Nichelle Prince, not a natural striker, looks to be Canada's number 9 to replace Christine Sinclair. I think she's done well. You have Sinclair, who I would imagine will start the second game. Jordan Heitzemer can play there, but has been used wide, I think, more often by Bev Priestman recently. And then two young players in Olivia Smith and Latifa Abdu. So I think it's one of those situations that could actually be interesting for the team over the next two games, in that you have some young talent in the squads, but there's also, because of those injuries, I think a pathway for some of these young players, at least one or two, to actually get some minutes. Smith and Awujo I'd be looking at in particular as maybe it being a good time to have a closer look at those two players.
Jordan.
I think Simi Ujo, for me, I'm a fan. I think that she's quality and just needs a chance. But I think Bev has a a huge decision to make, because you have to gamble or trust, or whatever word you want to use, on some player that she's unfamiliar with. Yes, you see them at training, but unfamiliar in a big game atmosphere. You're playing Australia, a very good team, two-leg affair. You're gonna have to gamble on someone. Is it a Wujo? I think that would be the fit. But I think you're also gonna see it, particularly in the midfield, how much you'll miss a Sophie Schmidt. Like, for me, I'm a fan, because box to box, you can connect the lines, can connect between the lines. And honestly, for the majority of her career, has just been a true diehard old school midfielder. Loves to get stuck into a tackle, loves to get the ball forward. So you're going to see a bit. But again, I don't think Bev Priestman should just play players because they're young and going to try. These are players that need to show themselves in training. But this is a huge moment, a huge affair, these two matches, because if you have a great performance, you can kind of move yourself into the squad and not just be a player that's on the bench. We could actually get real time. So this is a big window.
I think it's just a bigger loss for the two players, to be honest with you. Two players that are fighting for their spot in a potential team, not a squad, but a team. And I don't think the best version of the Canadian midfield includes Julia Grosso right now. I just don't think. I think it's Quinn. I think it's Fleming in a 3-4-3. Vienna up top. She isn't the number one option for me. So that's the bigger thing. And what I hope out of these games is just it'll be a proper, like, Sinclair didn't play that much on in the games in Montreal and Halifax. Play her, play Schmidt, like, let them do a proper send off here. There's lots of time. There'll be lots of games in the new year. So give some young players a chance. Say goodbye to two beloved players, or a couple of beloved players in Canadian women's soccer history in this country, and call it a day, call it a year, call it a career internationally.